2.4 is all about writing linear equations, or writing the equations of lines. Now, to write an equation of a line, there's three forms that we can use. The first one is the one that everybody knows and loves, slope-intercept form. We talked a lot about that the past couple of days. I refer to it as SIF, as I mentioned in the past. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Of course. Now, here's the thing. M, as everybody knows, m is the slope, and b is the y-intercepts, and I like to call it 0, comma b. I always like my intercepts as ordered pairs, just so I remember that they are intercepts. Here's the thing about slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is for suckers. I hate it. Now here's why. Check it out. I need the slope, and then of all the points on a line, think about a line. A line looks like this. Oops. Of all these points that are on this line, I have to have the y-intercept in order to put it in slope-intercept form. That's kind of limiting, right? There's infinite points. You have to have only one. That's why I hate slope-intercept form. Instead, I love point-slope form. Point-slope form is the bomb diggity. That's right. Point-slope form, or as I will affectionately call it as PSF. Now, some of you are groaning. You probably hated point-slope form when you were in middle school because you probably couldn't remember it. In class tomorrow, I'll give you a way to remember it because it's actually the easiest thing in the world to remember. But the formula for point-slope form was y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. Now, m, of course, is the slope. But here's the magic of point-slope form. The point x sub 1 comma y sub 1 is any point on the line. All right, slope-intercept form, you have to have the y-intercept. But in point-slope form, you can use any point you want. I love that about point-slope form. All right, and then the third form is called standard form. Standard form. And standard form is a little bit more cumbersome. It's got some extra rules to it, but it is useful from time to time. Standard form is capital AX plus capital BY equals capital C. Capital AX plus capital BY is equal to capital C. Now here's the thing. A couple of rules. A, B, and C all must be integers. A, B, and C are integers. Now, for those of you who forgot what an integer is, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. No fractions, just whole numbers, but also includes the negatives and 0. The other thing is the leading coefficient must be positive. Oops, must be positive. Leading coefficient must be positive. All right, so those are the three forms that we're going to talk about. Let's do our first example. We're going to write an equation. Write an equation of line through m is -1/2, and through the points two, 3. I jacked that up a little bit. Sorry, y'all. Write the equation line if m is -1/2 and it goes through the point 2, 3. Now, some of you may have learned in middle school to just go with slope-intercept form and just hammer it out. You plug in y, x, and m and find b. I don't like that way. Here's the thing. I'm going to want all three forms on most of these worksheets or on the quiz or test. So here's what's up. We're going to start off in point-slope form. because we can't go straight to slope-intercept form. They didn't give us the y-intercept. And when I say they, I mean I. So this is just some other point that's on the line, right? This is definitely not the y-intercept, so we can't even use it unless we find b. And I hate finding b. So point-slope form is going to be y minus the y-coordinate 3 equals negative 1/2 times the quantity x minus the x-coordinate 2. All right? Remember, y minus y sub 1 equals m x minus x sub 1. Now, the first y and the first x are never going to change. It's just going to be y and they're going to be x. The only things you're going to substitute a value in for is y1 and x1 and m, right? So you need 3 things. You find them from this information and plug them in. Check this out. If all I ask for is the equation of a line, if I don't specify what equation, boom, you're done, right? But if I ask for slope-intercept form, or all 3 forms, or standard form, here's what's next. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to distribute. So first thing we're going to do is distribute. Y minus 3 equals negative 1/2 x, then what? Plus 1. Right? Distribute. Then you get y by itself. Add 3. You get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. Right? And look at that. When we get y by itself, it mathematically becomes slope-intercept form. Oops, yikes. It mathematically becomes slope-intercept form. So check this out. All you got to do is plug it in for point-slope form. You want slope-intercept form, you take those plugged-in values, distribute, and then get y by itself, and there it is in slope-intercept form. So now, the last thing we're going to talk about is standard form. Now, standard form, if you recall, is ax plus by equals c. So we need x and y on the same side. So we're going to move this 1/2 x to this side by adding it. So 1/2 x plus y is 4. Now, remember, standard form has 2 rules. Leading coefficient must be positive. Check. That's the leading coefficient here in front of the x. But a, b, and c are integers. The x coefficient's got a fraction, so we got to unfractionize that. So here's the thing. If you ever got a fraction, you're just going to multiply lottie-dottie everybody by the denominator. So in this case, we're going to multiply by 2. So our final answer here is going to be 1/2 times 2 is 1. So x plus 2y equals 8. Leading coefficient is positive. Everything's in an integer. It's in ax plus by is equal to c form. This is standard form. Oops, forgot to box that too. So if I want all 3 forms, that's it. You put in point-slope form, distribute, get y by itself, puts it in slope-intercept form, then put it in x, y form, and then decide what you have to multiply by so that we get a good standard form. All right, let's try another one. Next one, we're going to write the equation of a line through the points -2, -1, and 3, -4. Now, what I like to do before I even get started is I like to just quick little coordinate plane and plot those 2 points. All right, -2, -1, and we got the point 3, -4, looking like that. So as you can see, we are going to have a negative slope. Now, when we get this slope-intercept form, you can even see that our y-intercept should be something negative probably as well. Right? So that just gives us a little starting point of where it's at. But all I gave you is 2 points. No matter what form we use, what are we going to need? We're going to need slope. So I'm going to do it in purple. Purple slope. Find slope, you got -1 plus 4 over -2 minus 3 is 3 divided by -5. Hope we all agree on on that there slope. Alright, so we got a slope and we got a point. In fact, we have 2 points. Does it matter which one you use? No, it does not. Alright, check this out. But I would rather use one that I'm going to have less likely to make a mistake on. Now, that's kind of debatable here. If I could get away with no negative numbers, I'd rather that. But I'd rather go with both negative, so I know that I got to make sure I change both of them. Yeah, so that's kind of a debatable thing there. But let's start off in point slope form. Point slope form, and I'm going to use the -2, -1. So that's going to be y minus -1, so that's going to be plus 1, equals -3/5 times the quantity x minus -2, so that's plus 2. So, boom! Point slope form done. Right? But I want all 3 forms. So, we're going to take this and put this in slope-intercept form. Y plus 1 equals -3/5 x minus, oh snap, what is 3/5 times 2? We'll bust out that fancy calculator of yours. You should get -6/5. Math fracket. Right? Then, subtract 1 from both sides. You get y equals -3/5 x. What is -6/5 minus 1? So, that'd be minus 5/5. Right? So you should get -3/5 minus 11/5. Y is by itself, so that is mathematically slope-intercept form. Alright, so slope-intercept form is y equals -3/5 x minus 11/5. Hey, remember up here we have a negative slope, and we predicted that we were going to have a negative y-intercept as well, and sure enough, there it is. Alright, so that brings us to the last thing. Standard form. Standard form, remember, ax plus by is equal to c. So we're going to move this -3/5 x term to the left side. You're going to add it, and you should get a little blue. 3/5 x plus y equals -11/5. Alright, so we got a fraction here. But if I multiply all this, I can multiply all this by 5. So you should get 3x plus 5y equals -11. And there is our standard form. So, standard form, -3x plus 5y equals -11. Here's our slope-intercept form. And here is our point slope form. So check this out. We did all 3 forms in 5 lines. Alright, so even if I ask for all 3, it's not that big. The last thing we're going to talk about is direct variation. Direct variation. Direct variation is anything that's in the form y equals kx, where k is some constant. Where k is some constant. Some things about direct variation. What is the y-intercept? The y-intercept, or b, is 0, 0. Because there's nothing plus here, the y-intercept is 0. So direct variation is anything that is linear that goes through the origin, whether it be, oops, that's terrible, whether it be increasing like that, or if it's decreasing like this. Direct variation goes through the origin, and we have k. We'll talk more about direct variation in class. Smith out!